Okay, guys. Hey, hi, and how are you doing? You know me, guys. I actually really wanted to come on here, actually super quick today, just to kind of reiterate. I ended up giving away all my secrets. Well, not quite all, actually, just sort of the obvious ones, really. But as it's 22/12/22 today, okay, guys, and today is, sorry, 22 is the number of the goddess. Okay. And yesterday we were talking about kind of self-love, self-care, and radiance and being radiant and beautifying ourselves kind of thing. I actually thought, as I'd given you kind of all these sort of ideas and stuff, I thought I'd better actually come on here. Two reasons. One, I actually don't want you to think that I just sit here derma rolling myself, all day, every day. Okay. And two, because I have actually had some experience with those, sort of, sort of tools and things like that. I actually wanted to give you my experience of them. Okay. Because they aren't actually just without any degeneration. Okay. And so I thought I would just come on here super quick because actually I forgot to tell you my exciting news, which was my tech guy is back. Woo! Okay. And so, he's asleep upstairs. And for any of you that don't know, he is actually my son. Okay. And so I love it when he comes back, and he always helps me out, and he has helped me out. And already life is going next level. Okay. So, and I was actually around the shizzle again yesterday, guys. Okay. And it did affect me. It did affect me. Like, even literally just in that short amount of time. Okay. My skin really came up. I've managed to bring it down. Okay. But yeah, so I just wanted to go through some of the techniques that I've used, and actually how long I used them for, and how long ago I actually used them. Okay, guys. So I started with an LED red light wand. Okay, I just had a wand, and I was really working on my rosacea, and I found that I could sort of work with that. I did as well, sort of put it around my eyes and around, sort of my forehead and things like that. And this would have been, as well, I was going through, like I said, my my dark night of the soul. And so I was actually, that going through that, and that was giving me a bag or some fine lines actually under my left eye in particular, because it had to do with the feminine. Okay. And so, all of these things we can relate left, right in our bodies to our masculine and to our feminine sides and things like that. And it isn't just about, being male or female. This is why, guys, I get annoyed with this whole kind of gender identity shizzle. Okay. Because we're all both, right? And there's no getting away from that. Okay. And I just don't get it. Okay. But anyway, and actually also yesterday on my Instagram live collective kinesiology, one of the things that came up was to get on for being in our feminine warriorhood. Okay. And so what I mean by that is our creativity. Okay. It's not just about being feminine and girly and whatever, and being masculine and manly and whatever, or boyish and whatever. It's about being in our creativity and in the chaos, actually, and allowing ourselves to go into the chaos, because we have squeezed the femininity to the extent that we all feel uncomfortable experiencing the chaos, and we will actually avoid it. We will actually avoid, to a certain extent, our femininity and our creativity. We're embarrassed about it. We're ashamed. We are scared to put ourselves out there. We're scared of what people will think. And, ultimately, we just have to say to those people and say, I'm just going to do it anyway. Okay, it's taken me a long time, and yet here I am. Okay, and I'm just doing it. I'm just getting on with it. In some ways, I've actually come to think maybe it's only people who know me that watch this. Okay, and that's a scary thought, but it wouldn't surprise me because, I literally just don't get out there. So, because I'm just so suppressed. So, by big tech, I mean. And so it's probably just kind of word of mouth. Oh my God, have you seen what she's doing? Anyway, leaving that one. By the by, for now, I want to tell you, I had great experience with my LED red wand. Okay, and I used that probably from around 2015 to about 2018. Okay, and around kind of about 2017-18, I heard about hyaluronic acid. Okay, I sometimes get that word wrong, which is a substance. Okay, it's a supplement that can help your body hold up to 1,000 times more water. Okay, so people tend to be chronically dehydrated, and again, in kinesiology we often look at hidden dehydration, and I have actually come to realize that is the squeeze point. Okay, it's more than just being dehydrated. It's where we're actually cutting off the fluid supply, and I can't wait to come back for my end of year review, guys, because I've got something super exciting to talk to you about. But for now, I just want to kind of clarify what I said, and I don't want people to damage themselves and then to say, oh, well, she said use a derma roller every day. No, I didn't say that, and I'm going to tell you my experience with it. Okay. So I found it was like 3 times strength hyaluronic acid kind of thing, capsule, and I took that. I just took a course of it kind of thing, and I don't really know if it worked. Actually, I quite like the idea of maybe getting some more. I think I am going to get either some hyaluronic acid or some collagen. I don't know which I'm going to go for yet, but anyway, and then I also found a little kind of, it was like a sort of a natural kind of type of, I'm going to say serum, but it isn't really a serum. It's more like a liquid of pure hyaluronic acid. Okay, that comes all the way from China, and it's like $2.99. Okay, so I used that around the same time. Okay, and I mean, I don't use any of these things religiously, or sometimes even for any length of time at all. Like the hyaluronic acid, I used one course. I don't even think I finished the course. I never do. I'm not very good at that sort of thing, and taking supplements and stuff like that. I don't recommend supplements. I recommend getting what you need in your food and finding a food source if you can for getting a bioavailability nutrition. Okay, bioavailable, so that we can actually absorb it and assimilate it. Okay, so I used that, and that was back in sort of 2016, 17, potentially 18. I then, in around, again, 2017, 18, heard about the derma roller. So I thought, I'm going to try that. Okay, and I tried it once, and what actually ends up happening, that nobody actually tells you guys, but I will tell you, is that you do actually sort of, it is about, well, they do tell you, it's about damaging the surface layer of your skin. Okay, and that actually forces collagen. Now, the first time I did this, and the first couple of times I did this, after the first day, you go very red, okay, and it actually feels as if you've been sunburnt by the night, by the end of the evening. So it isn't a good thing to do in the summer months, right? I'm just going to tell you that, guys. So do this really in the winter, okay, and it's a good idea to do it at night or in the evening, and then you can repair in the night. But then what ends up happening is after about 2 days, your skin goes very dry. It actually goes very, very dry, and you start to actually peel off. It's like shedding a skin. So you then peel off the top layer of skin, okay? And then it does work. My gosh, it does work. It really worked. It really helped in my sort of this. It hasn't fully helped these, okay? They're still kind of there. And but it did sort of help, and I used it twice, and the reason I got the derma roller, guys, again, was for my rosacea. I had heard that it was good for rosacea, and it did help a bit. These all kind of came in because for my rosacea, and so if anybody's suffering out there, it is one of those issues. And I was actually talking to a pharmacist the other day. I mentioned rosacea, and he said, oh, that's another one that's so nobody really knows where it comes from. And I said, yeah, you're right, they'll give you antibiotics, but it isn't a bacteria, you know, it is actually leaky gut, and specifically in the stomach. So you need to heal a leaky gut ultimately, okay, and that's what I've done now, and that's why, you know, I'm clear. But I was taking, so a good supplement you can take is lysine, for many, many years, for 10 years or longer. And when I took it, it worked. And when I didn't take it, it would come back. So I'd just take it. But then it got to a point where it actually wasn't working for a while. So that was when I started trying other things more topically. Okay. So then after the third time I used the derma roller, it actually took quite a long time for my skin to come back. It went very, very dry and sort of slightly kind of peeling and scaly. So then I just said, no, I'm not going to use it again. And I actually didn't use it again then until actually last week. So last week, and so that was what, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I hadn't actually used the derma roller for 5 years. And then last week I thought I will use it because, like I said, I was starting to get this kind of little bit more sort of sagging in the skin here, okay. And I didn't get, and I think I must have used it much lighter this time, because I didn't really get the redness overly, and I didn't really get the dry skin overly. Now, either I'm just more hydrated generally, which could be true because I've been drinking distilled water for a lot longer now, or I just didn't use it as strongly, okay. And when I use it, I'll be honest, guys, when I use it, I do always use it 2 days in a row, okay. So I'll just sort of, and you just sort of roll this way and then you roll that way. So wherever you want to roll, you roll this way and that way. And so you just roll in different kind of directions, okay. So I've only ever used the derma roller 4 times, guys, okay. And that's for 2 days though, each time, okay. So I'll use it one day and then I'll use it the next day. So you've got to be careful with that. Then after the 3 times I'd used it, then like about 2 years later was when my mum was dying. We were going into lockdown, and our first lockdown was 2020, and my skin, and I was, you know, like had become a fat burning machine, okay, and that's what was happening. And I'd released all the fat in my stomach, and so I was just left with leaky gut with no protection, no buffer kind of thing. So I just had fiery red, hot, itchy, burning skin on my face, okay. So there was just no way I could use something like a derma roller. And I actually remember saying to a friend at the time, I admitted, and I just said, look, I'm actually a bit worried. I think possibly as a result of being a bit, sort of, whatever kind of thing, and wanting to still look good, I use this derma roller. I'm hoping that I haven't damaged my skin. Okay. But I was going to say this the other day, guys, for some reason, or I thought about saying it. Skin is such an incredible organ, guys. It really, really is. It can come back from the most horrendous conditions. And that's because whatever is going on your skin is about what is going on internally. And that is going to be both. It's always, always going to be both what you're putting in and on your body. So, food and substances, as well as then your actual motions. Okay. Something like eczema goes super fucking deep. Okay. It really is like a don't touch me kind of, like, go away and leave me alone sort of. It's what your body's saying. It's angry, it's rejecting, and probably feels rejected. Okay. And that, and I know people who have had really awful on their face skin conditions. Okay. And they have managed to come back from them. Okay. Myself included. Right. So the skin is incredible and our bodies are incredible, guys. I just can't deny it. We are the highest source in the goddamn universe. Okay. We really, really are. And we have the potential to fully create incredible beauty and genius. Okay. Both. Right. And health and prosperity. Okay. And just absolutely and totally and utterly thrive. Okay. And this is always what I'm trying to bring you guys. I absolutely love you. I absolutely love everyone on here, and I absolutely love humanity. And even though I do come across as slightly arrogant and slightly, rude sometimes, I'm not. And I love humanity. And even the most kind of degenerated soul, honestly, I tend to seek out those people. I don't really know why, but they tend to be the people that I feel the most comfortable with, honestly, because they're just real. What I hate is the fakery and the trickery. Okay, that's what I really, really hate. And quite often it is people who have got their shizzle, or sort of trying to make out as if they've really got their shizzle together. Whereas I have so much more respect for people who are willing to say, my life's a mess, and I'm scared, I'm worried, I don't know what to do, I don't know where I'm going. As long as you're not saying it continuously and you're willing, and that's the key here, guys, and that's what most people are missing. And in fact, that will be what I bring, not to my next kinesiology live on Instagram, because what I'm going to do for the next one, because what came up on this one, which was about taking on and being willing to blossom through good teaching, is that humanity doesn't even have the will to live, guys. Okay. And that is, it came up on the third session, right? And that tends to be right in the center of the spiral, when we go in and go in down the rabbit hole of our own healing journey, guys. What tends to be there is a death wish. And this is why people poison themselves, because ultimately they haven't got the will to live and they don't want to be alive. We have an ultimate death wish. Okay. I learned that very much from doing rebirthing breath work with Leonard Orr. That's what he talks about a lot. And I've come to find that it's true. If you're drinking every day and smoking and even, God forbid, doing even worse, but even sugar, okay, guys, and this is then what I was talking about with, I was thinking then today, because I was thinking about coming on here and doing this, and it's going to end up being a 30-minute one, because there are so many adages, okay, is that, you know, you look at Sarah Jessica Parker, she says, I know I look a mess, and I do feel for her, but I feel, because she's very, very skinny, and so, and this is the thing about being too skinny, you know, the whole Hollywood sort of thing, they want to be too skinny. Well, it actually just makes all your skin drop in the end of the day, okay. The likelihood is that she probably does have sugar. She looks very hardened down, and alcohol, okay, and so she actually looks, you can sort of see that she's calcifying inside and atrophying, okay. She looks very, very hardened. So if you're watching, sister, I suggest you get yourself off all the sugars and alcohols, okay. And so, and that, and you know, and that was what I didn't say about that other woman, is that, you know, she's still very beautiful, but I think there is a more graceful way to age. You know, the fact of the matter is, wasn't just saying, you know, that guy from the Cars looked like an insect. He was clearly a narcissist, okay? He treated her like shit, honestly. And that is another way how we degenerate, is when we're just around people that don't treat us well. Get out of there, girlfriend, okay, or boyfriend, because I know that it is under, like I said, under 45s, women are the narcissists, okay. So I suggest that any men that are being, or women that are being put through the ringer, just say sayonara. Just don't even think twice. I wish I had never thought twice about just, you know, walking out kind of thing. But we feel bad and we want to be there for them because, oh my God, I actually saw a reel the other day. This woman filming her boyfriend. I mean, some of these reels I can't actually work out if they're real or not. I think sometimes they are, you know. But this guy apparently had sex with a friend of hers, and he was the one having the tantrum on the floor going, I can't believe you're leaving me. How dare you? She was like, I just want to have a feeling about, you know, I'm just telling you what I feel. I mean, you've just had sex with my best friend. And he was like, how dare you having a feeling? You know, they won't allow you to have a feeling, to have an opinion, to, you know, to be upset about their toxic behavior. They get even more toxic. And then they start saying they're going to kill themselves in a minute. Okay, walk the fuck away and don't look back. Right? That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, so I haven't really used the derma roller. I've only used it 4 times in my life, guys. And then I got the face mask. LED kind of thing, and that again I only used twice because I was again using it for my rosacea, and I found that it actually made it worse. And not only that, is that it sort of detoxed me, and then it gave me even more spots kind of thing, because at that stage I just, everything was coming through my skin. And you know, and I have actually managed, because that was one of the things that I wanted to change, was the my channels, sort of switching up my channels of detoxification, okay, so that they weren't just coming out on my face all the time. Now with this last load of shizzle, it is coming out more in my face, and in a way I'm quite glad about that, and I have the tools I need now just to kind of clear it up. And working with the Healy is another tool, okay? And you can use that for sort of aging and sort of skin and things like that. I mean, I have used those programs. I haven't really noticed, I have to say, I haven't really noticed much of a difference in using those programs, okay? But I will tell you, again, if we're going into the aging thing, the 2 biggest substances that I have noticed are real, and I have also used collagen. I've used a little bit of fish collagen, but I don't like the flavor. It's like a powder. And I've used bovine, which I used to add to my hot chocolates and things like that, or smoothies. And I used to do a lot of superfood smoothies, putting all these superfoods in them, kind of thing. Okay, and so, you know, I have used a bit of collagen, but I haven't used collagen for at least 5 years. I just kind of stopped using all of those things. I don't really know why. And I think because I found the Healy, really, and then I felt that my health, my general health had upgraded, so I didn't actually need to be sort of supplementing and using topical things. My skin was just so much better. Okay. But yes, I was going to tell you the two main sort of foods though that I have made the most difference in the immediate effects, okay, of fine lines and wrinkles, right, were chicken broth, okay, and that does have to be chicken broth, guy, or any. I suppose it could be meat broth, but I'm not into beef broth. I would quite like to try maybe venison broth, but I'm just not sure. I find them a bit too kind of sort of heavy, and I'm not really into like putting it on your skin and everything like that. But I have tried, but I found it too heavy. It was too heavy a substance that actually kind of made my skin drag a bit. But drinking chicken broth, okay, guys, it is so incredible. It's so full of fat and collagen that it really plumps the skin, okay. And the other one is pomegranate juice, okay. Pomegranate is like a defibrillator for the mitochondria in the cell, okay. So when we start to compress the cells through either physical, kind of force of kind of gravity and us being off center, and or the carbon kind of compression inside the cell, is going to starts to kill off the mitochondria, okay. And so pomegranate juice and pomegranate seed generally can act as like a defibrillator, and it wakes up those cells, okay, guys. And so when I started using that, which I don't use it, I went through a phase of using it regularly, okay, and I used it like a supplement, and you can actually buy it as a supplement. I've never tried the supplement, and it's good for the heart, okay. So, if anyone's, but honestly, if you've been jabbed, I actually don't even want to get involved, and I don't want you to take any of my advice, really. I mean, I do still have some clients like that, but take it very loosely as a loose guidance, okay. That's my disclaimer here, and that's why I've come back on here today. It's a disclaimer, okay, that I'm not here to tell you what to do and how to do it. I'm just telling you what I've experienced, okay. And all of those products that I've used very, very lightly. None of them I've used over 5 times, okay, apart from the hyaluronic acid, which I did take probably about half a course of. I probably took that for a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks kind of thing. So enjoy this day of the goddess, guys. Don't be scared to beautify yourself. It's all about honoring God and Gaia, okay, and allowing it to absolutely move through you, move beyond the death wish into the life wish, into the living dream, okay, into paradise and beyond, okay, guys. We have the potential to live for thousands of years if we choose it and if we want to, okay. Maybe not our generation, but any generation below us that hasn't been vaxxed up the hilt is going to be able to ascend far, far beyond anything that we can ever imagine. But we are bringing the news, okay? We are the bringers of the good news, of that information, okay? And we're shifting it up. We've got about 18 more months. Maybe not even. It's about 13, 14, 15 months left of the Dark Ages, okay? We fully go into the Aquarian age in 2024, guys. So, super, super excited about that one. Now, go and overindulge, and you can detox in the new year. You have my permission. Good night. Well, actually, it's daytime.